Hey, what's going on everybody? So this is kind of a part two to the last video I made, and today I'm going to be showing you how to port forward your server. So in the last video I taught you how to make a Minecraft server, a Spigot one specifically, and that's going to let you play with your friends, but it's kind of limited because you can only play with your friends while they're at your house basically, on your internet. And you want to play with your friends from their house and your house, so you're going to need to be able to connect to one IP address, your internet, and in order to do that, you have to port forward. And port forwarding can seem like a challenging task, but hopefully we're going to walk you through it today. So there's quite a few steps, but we'll take it nice and slow and make sure we get through everything. So the first thing we're going to need to do is make sure that your IP address is static and not static and not dynamic. So when it's dynamic, it's going to be changing every renewal lease, which basically keeps it from being the same and doesn't allow your friends to connect to it consistently. So in order to do this, first we're gonna check to see if your IP address is static or dynamic. And once again, we want it to be dynamic. So what you're gonna do is type IP config just like that, space slash all. This is gonna give us a list of all of your internet connections and their properties. And when towards the bottom here, we're gonna be looking for, or maybe not, Ethernet adapter, Ethernet. Okay, this is because I'm on the Ethernet, but if you're on Wi-Fi, just look for something similar. And then what you want to look for is DHCP enabled, and mine was enabled, and I had to disable it. So you want this to be on no. DHCP is the dynamic, like basically, I'll put it simpler. This basically is, does your IP address change or does it not? And mine is set to no, so my IP address is not going to change. And you want to make sure it's set to no. You don't want this to say yes. So in order to do that, we're going to go to your control panel. So first open your control panel. Once you have that open, go to Network and Internet, Network and Sharing Center. All right. And then change adapter settings. All right, so this is all of your connections. These are the red X means I'm not connected to them. This Ethernet is the one I'm connected to. You'll find whatever, if you're on Wi-Fi, click on the Wi-Fi, click on the Ethernet properties, and what you want to look for here is the Internet Protocol version 4. Okay, right here. Internet Protocol version 4 TCP IPv4. Double click that, open it up. And so if this in your IP config in the CMD, if that says yes, this is going to be it's going to be checked obtain an IP address automatically. So what's that doing is automatically obtaining an IP address and changing yours every once in a while, which is going to not allow you to constantly play with your friends. You need to set this to use the following IP address. And I'm going to have mine blurred out, but I'll tell you where to get it. So to use the following IP address and use the following DNS server addresses, you're going to need that information. So we're going to go back to the command console, and right here is everything you need. So first, you're going to put the IPv4 address in. Second, you're going to put the subnet mask. And mine automatically put this in, but yours might not. Then third, you're going to put the default gateway in, okay? So in your command center or in your control panel, when you have these three bars here, you're going to put those three IP addresses in. So IPv4, subnet, and then default gateway. And then for the DNS servers, when it says use the following DNS server addresses, then you're going to go to here, look for DNS servers, right? So there's one here and one here. You're just going to copy those numbers exactly. You have to make sure you have those numbers exactly the same inside these like 5 options, and that way it will properly work. And you're going to hit OK. And this is going to save those settings. And you might get a message, like an error message, but that's okay. Oops, I just disabled my internet. Okay, well, we're fine. So you might get an error message saying something along the lines of DHCP was disabled and that's like a problem. You just want to click OK. You want to allow it. So that way, you want it to be okay, and that way the DHCP is on no. All right. So now that you've done that, your IP address is static, okay? So if you type ipconfig again, /all, Now your IP address, your IPv4, and all of these IP addresses will not change. And you have to make sure that DHCP enabled is no. All right. So that's the first step to port forwarding, and that sometimes is the trickiest. So the next thing we're going to be doing is, I guess, okay, so we need to access your router web page, your router GUI basically. And in order to do this, so we're gonna go back into the CMD, and we don't have to type ipconfig all, we can just do ipconfig. And so what you need to get now is your IP address, all right? Your IPv4 address, IPv4. Type that into your browser, just the address. And that is going to take you to your specific router login page. Now, everyone's router page is going to be different, but that's just how it goes. So you're going to put in the password and log in. You may need to look at your router to actually get your login information, but that's fine. Also, if you need help finding the port forwarding section on your router, you can Google it. There's manuals all over the internet for all sorts of routers. This is my specific one, the Zixel C1100Z. Like, it's so random. Whatever router you have, there's hundreds of thousands. You'll just have to figure it out. So, or you can just look around. It was not that hard to find. So, advanced setup is where mine is, and you also probably be somewhere similar. So once that loads, then we're going to go over here, port forwarding. So we'll go to find your port forwarding section, and this is really easy actually. So I already have mine set up down here, but I'm going to show you how to do it. So for mine at least, selected device is basically just asking for your IP address. So mine is this desktop right here, and this is going to be the exact same as your IPv4, I believe, yes. Yep. Okay, so that IP address is your IPv4. So if you manually enter the IP address, you can just put in your IPv4. But if not, you can select the device, and it's just the same device that you're running the Minecraft server off of. And then enter LAN port information. So the starting and ending port are going to be the same, and they're both for Minecraft's port. Minecraft's port is 25565, so you're going to put that in both of these slots. And then for select the protocol, it's 2CP or UDP, and if you have an option for both, you select both. But it's okay if you put either of these two. But normally, if you have both, the option for both, just use both. That's what I did. And then what you're gonna do, this doesn't matter, and then you hit apply, and this is basically going to enable your port forward to work. So now, once I hit apply, this little port forwarding list came up right here. So my IP address, this is why we needed to make it static, because if it were dynamic, this IP address would change and it would no longer work because this would be a different number, but it would still be trying to port forward it, but we wouldn't have that IP address. So you have to make sure this is static so that way it does not change. Okay, so now that we have this port forward finished, there's one last thing to do. In your server files, like the ones that we made last time, in the right here, server properties, you're going to open with and notepad, and you need to go scroll down a little bit to server IP right here. And this server IP needs to be your default gateway, all right? So that's what that's going to be. No, that's going to be your IPv4. Yeah, so open up the server properties, and this is going to be your IPv4 address. All right, so that's what you need to do with that. And so once you've got that done, and you file, save that, save your server.properties, you are pretty much good to go. So now you're going to be able to launch Minecraft, and I will cut the video and bring you back when we're on. Alright, so Minecraft is loaded, and we're going to go ahead and go to multiplayer, add server, and this is where you add the server, okay? The server IP address that you're going to add is the IPv4 that that is on your IP config. So if you forget it, you're gonna go here, just again to recap, IP config, IPv4. Now this number will not change because we made it static. So this is gonna be your IPv4 forever as long as you have it DHCP disabled, like what we did at the beginning of the video. So this IP address is what you're gonna give your friends to add to the server. So we're gonna hit join server, or well, I suppose we should start the server first. So we'll be right back when this starts. Alright, so the server just finished loading up. You see this done line from last time. And so we're gonna go ahead and refresh this, and if it works out, it should connect. So once again, we have my IPv4 in the server IP address, and right there, we have the server up and running. And you and your friends should all be able to connect to this with your IPv4. Alright, and there we go. We have the same server we had last time. Yes, Spigot 1.14.4. There's Jurgen. Alright, thank you for watching. If you liked, please consider liking and subscribing. We'll see you next time with the next video. I'm probably going to make a video teaching you how to configure plugins maybe next, or perhaps I'll make a video showing you how to get a domain for your server. Because, you don't necessarily want an IP address that's, something like that. You'd much rather have mc.minecraft.play, That would be way more fun to connect to. Okay, so that's called a domain, and we might learn that next. We might learn something else. All right, I'll stop talking. Have a great day.